Hey everyone, welcome to Beyond the Box. On this episode, we're at our Malden Distribution Center that houses our Packaging Engineering Lab. And who's in that lab? You guessed it, Joe Ulmer, Senior Packaging Engineer. We're going to talk with Joe about where he was born, the things that he learned along the way, things he got into that led him to being a packaging engineer. And he's got a little surprise that might be a Beyond the Box exclusive. So don't go anywhere, you're on Beyond the Box. We're not just anywhere, we're here with Joe Ulmer. Now, Joe, you're the Senior Packaging Engineer, is that right?
That's right.
Or did I just demote you by like 30 ranks?
No, that's exactly right.
Okay, okay. And we're not just at the DC, we're in a very particular special location, which is kind of new.
Correct. So this is branch one, which we consider as the Malden Distribution Center, our kind of home base. This is where all the engineers reside. This is where Engineering Lab is.
Yeah, that's the word, the Engineering
table.
Lab. Yeah.
So all the prototype work is mostly done through here.
Now, do you normally wear lab coats?
We do on occasion.
Is that a touchy subject?
We did no. It's a wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But this particular lab is fairly new because when we moved into this location, it was just like wide open space and stuff was just kind of sitting around.
Yeah, originally, so this would have been the office where a lot of sales folks sat at one time. The engineering area was originally on the opposite side of the wall outside in non-climate controlled area.
Yeah, that's a key point. Let's pause there. Why is climate control critical to all this corrugate lying around?
Well, it's critical to me personally.
Because Joe doesn't like to sweat.
I sweat very easily.
Joe sweats.
And so the CAD table is a high dollar piece of equipment.
Right.
It's got a lot of fragile electronics in there. Can blow fuses when we get out of temperature ranges.
You
and
don't
also,
roll down to Target to pick up a new ESCO.
No, and a lot of specialty stuff. So they're good. If we have a problem, they'll send us more. But also with the corrugated, in a climate controlled area, we can kind of somewhat condition it a little bit because obviously paper will lose a lot of moisture in the winter, gain a lot of moisture in the summer. So it can perform a lot differently depending on the time of year, how long it's been out there.
This is stuff that engineers know about. That's why they need a lab. That's why you guys need a space. Now we can get into prototyping here in a minute, but before we dive into all that, let's dive into Joe Ulmer. Like, where did Joe start out? Like, where were you born? If you want to say how long ago, I'll leave that up to you.
So I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
45 years ago now.
Midwest.
Yeah, lived there 2 years. So
just 2 years of your life?
Yeah.
Okay, so your roots are in Indiana.
Made it to the South at a very young age. Grew up actually in Woodruff, South Carolina.
Okay.
Went through high school there.
So you're more local to this area?
Yeah, I consider this home. This is home to me. It's where I grew up. It's where a lot of old family, friends, and this does feel like home.
Okay.
Have moved away quite a few times and always seem to come back because of that feeling.
Okay. So let's go back to high school, those growing up years. Like, were you a tinkerer? Like, what got you into this realm?
So, tinkerer, always enjoyed math and science, like a lot of people that end up kind of this route. Love getting hands-on, building something, seeing things that I made, which kind of really works out with this type of job,
Yeah, except this time there aren't a lot of instructions. You're kind of writing your own instructions for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it is on the job experience. It's just the more you get exposed to certain things and the more you just learn as you go. There are some kind of set rules, but a lot of it is kind of judgment based.
Yeah.
Trial and error sometimes. You just see, hey, I think this might work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you crash and burn. Sometimes you got a winner.
Yeah. Iterations, like you're just building on that.
There's always base rules, but when you're dealing with basically paper, plastics, foams, you just kind of do what you want to sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, but you got to know the rules to know how to break them. And that's where all that learning came in. Yeah. So you're in high school, you're a tinkerer. Like, what did you have your eyes on packaging engineering, or did you start out in that direction, or did it just sort of?
Well, oddly enough, the packaging program came to our high school and actually spoke.
No way.
At Woodruff High School at the time, I graduated with 125 people. People that were on the college track. It was a pretty small group. They could come speak to one class, basically, two classes. So I had been exposed to them before actually going to Clemson. Started out in the engineering program, like 90% of packaging people. Quickly kind of realized that's not my cup of tea. It's first couple of years, it's all theory. You don't really see what the light at the end of the tunnel is. Nothing really hands-on, no cool labs. So started looking around and remembered the packaging people, went and had a conversation. The guy was a very, very successful salesman from the industry, and basically walked out of the meeting and changed my major.
Okay.
So, yeah. He was a very good salesman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough to invest your whole life in, apparently.
Yeah. So, been in packaging since graduating. I've been with IPS total of 10 years.
Okay.
Started out the very first time, 2011. Had a little sabbatical. IPS was very great to me personally. Helped me work through some stuff I needed to take care of family-wise, and welcomed me back in after the fact.
That's good. They're good about that. IPS has helped me and a lot of other folks. It's not just about make this into a box. It's sort of like, you're a human, and let's help make you into a better human. And if you work here, that's even better. So
right, yeah.
That's really cool to hear. So you've been here 10 years. So congratulations on 10 years, a whole decade.
Thank you.
That's a big deal anywhere. Now, what do you do here on the daily? We've already talked about like prototypes. We've used iterations we haven't thrown around the word substrate yet, we're a couple of know-it-alls, but lots of substrates you work with, and just, you have to know the rules of the substrate to break them. So what do you do here? Like, what is that process? When do you get pinged?
So I'll get brought in very early on in the process. The customer knows, hey, we have this set of items that we need. We want you to help see if you can provide.
So they've got a problem.
So
they've got a product and they don't know how to contain it.
A lot of times that is the case. A lot of times it's them just learning of us and the reputation we have and giving us a chance at it. So early on, we'll either collect samples, confirm specs, verify that what's on the spreadsheet matches the sample, because it doesn't very often.
Right.
Right. So you want to make sure that what you're quoting is actually what they're buying and not what a line on the spreadsheet says. Like you were saying, if they do have problems or issues or challenges, that's the fun part. So we can go see if we can help them solve a problem, maybe improve a process, help them spend less time doing whatever they need to do.
Yeah, we've got kind of a famous internal video where it's you and Cole, and you're packaging the same product, but you are demonstrating the improvement.
Correct.
And it's crazy.
Yes, the
night and day.
Automotive customer came to us with a pack that they just did not like. They were spending an incredible amount of time to hand form trays, place another part in there, add foam, put the actual car part in there, and then load the parts into the box. With a very simple design change that, like I said, you have to know the rules. So like they were currently doing was very neat. This is very time consuming.
Right.
But with a different piece of equipment, we could use a very, very simple design that all they would do is pick it up and fold it, and it gave the shelf separation that they needed for the parts. So
so sometimes a process can work, but it could be more efficient. So sometimes that's where you can step in.
Yeah, it was 75% time reduction. Or
it was ludicrous.
It was pretty significant.
Yeah. So that's when, like, you hear the problem or whatever scenario the client has, and that's when you get to like exercise your senior muscles a little bit. All the trial and error over the years. You work out a design, you get over there on the ESCO, the cutting table, you're doing all that. And then what is it like when you get with the client and that's it, like that's the one, and they know? What's that moment like for you when you've like solved the problem?
I was very satisfying. A lot of customers might not understand at first. Hey, I don't understand. You're telling me this is going to solve my problem, but it's going to cost me a little bit more. I'm like, that's true, but you're saving 10 times the amount of labor that you were using.
Right.
And then to see that light bulb, or even in yourself, just to, oh, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then especially for the customer to buy in,
Yeah.
also say, hey, this is it. Let's go for it.
I think I don't remember who it was. It may have been Rob. We talked on another occasion. One of the, I guess, the bittersweetness about being an excellent packaging engineer, sometimes like you don't hear how awesome it was. It worked and it's like, poof, they're gone.
Sure.
You know, and like throughput's wide open, and it's kind of like raising a kid, and you know, time to go, and you know, life's different.
Yeah,
now.
they don't call you back.
Right. They're just they're gone.
We turn a lot of projects. It's a pretty high volume department. You know, we're a lot of hands on a lot of projects. Some projects take time. You know, it might be 2 years before you really the customer's ready, or you know, all the pieces align. So there's some patience along the lines of actually knowing, hey, but then sometimes you just never find out. Like,
That's true.
And
sometimes that's the best news, is no news, because you know it
never
worked.
hear about it again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I know we can't get into all of it, but you know, Joe was talking about it taking time. Like, there are global brands that entrust you with your experience to give them a product. So it's going to take some time. It's going to, as I say, the big wheels turn slowly. Sure. And so that's exciting. I wish we could just like run them on the screen. Maybe I'll do it. It'd be like 0.02 seconds and just show everybody. So if you've got a quick finger, you can. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we've got some really, really big name people out there that come to us with something else that somebody else designed and say, help us make this better, and are happy with what we give them. So.
Yeah. Well, we're almost out of time, but 2 more questions. One, do you have a favorite project, like something that you're like, that was awesome?
A pretty major exercise equipment company. All of their certified.
That shall not be named.
They probably don't care, but all of their certified pre-owned bikes in North America, North America, are in IPS packaging with my design.
Wow.
So that's pretty neat.
Okay, then last question, because we're like in our final minute. Like, you're a senior here, you're the senior packaging engineer, you've been here for 10 years. I'm sure you've gotten to know people over the years. What's something about Joe Ulmer that this crew here, if they found out, they'd be like, what? I had no idea. What's a little known fact about you?
Well, pretty little known, I guess, would be I'm a pretty good crocheter.
What? No way.
Pretty good at that.
No way. What do you like to crochet?
I'm just kind of all over the place. I've done everything from blankets to weird animal figures to intricate little doily looking things. Yeah. So
are you the kind that like plop down in a chair and just like have people over and you're just sitting there talking and not even looking and just kind of doing that kind of thing?
No, I got a lot of nervous energy. It kind of keeps me busy doing
Keeps
something.
your hands busy.
It seems to be a little bit more enriching than staring at the phone.
That's very true. Well, speaking of busy hands and things to do, Joe, you've been gracious to give us some of your time, so I'll let you get back to doing your things. Thank you for letting me come into your house. Normally people come over to the studio there, but we came to your house today. Yeah. So thanks for having us here.
Glad you came.
And thank all of you for spending some more time with us here on Beyond the Box. We'll see you next time.